Hi there, I'm Alice, and welcome to Study Diaries. In today's video, we will be discussing, or more so audio, we will be discussing the questioning of philosophies. So, one thing I realized is I feel as though a lot of people don't. I'm going to make a video on research, right? And it's something I realize. A lot of people don't do in-depth research about people that they like quoting, right? A lot of people are not perfectionistic, and as a society, we generally aren't. We're just looking for the easiest route as a means of getting information and sounding very intelligent, right? You'll have people who are very interested in a variety of topics, and they will just take a quote from another strange philosopher and just put it verbatim there. So if for instance, like when you do that, right, as a person, you're going to find people like me who are going to be like, ooh, like, who are you talking about? Like, who's the person who quoted it, right? And I'm going to start digging into that person, and I'm going to start searching about their philosophy and their belief systems, and etc., etc. And it's going to make me look at you and question your belief systems as well, because we follow and we take inspiration from people that we want to be like. So we take that, want to be like, want to think like, we find inspiring, right? So let's begin. Okay, so first and foremost, I used to be interested in nihilism, right? Friedrich Nietzsche, right? Used to talk about the Übermensch and Zarathustra, etc., 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 right? He talks about this aspect of the fact that life has no meaning, and basically you should try to be the best superhuman you can be, right, in life. And the reason why I fell into this philosophy was due to my personal experience as a human being, right? I stopped enjoying the mundane things of life because of too much, when you're too heightened in awareness and intellect, right? You start to analyze everything, right? And you start to look at the human experience as bland, right? So I used to look at everything as boring. And a part of me wanted to be ignorant and stupid, because when you're ignorant and stupid, it disconnects you from the reality of the world, right? So I used to just eat food. I wouldn't enjoy food. It just tasted like food. I kept ingesting food, not because I was enjoying food, but because food served as a comfort for lacks in my life. And the reason why I know this was because when I didn't have food in my fridge, I wasn't concerned. I kept living and I did not care, right? So I lived my whole life looking at life as this boring blank canvas. It just sucked. We get born into this world. We go to work. We come back. You reach that point, right, where you have to go to work and you come back from home. And if you're in school, you know that you have to wake up early to attend school, right? And that in and of itself is just a depressing state of being. As well, right? If you're in high school, I've been there, and I remember I hated it. I was like, every day I have to go there. And university seemed better because like university had classes like later on in the day and etc., etc. But I looked at like the human experience, and the fact that you grow up, you do all these things, you get a job, you get married, you have kids, and that's about it, right? That's all you do. That's what's advertised, right? That's the Hollywood dream. Then there's a different aspect, right, of being famous. I feel as though that's why a lot of people want to be famous and popular. They wanted all of that because they saw how celebrities used to live, and they were like, they look alive. They don't look dead inside, right? And a lot of people are dead inside. They're told to get a proper job, get married, and etc., etc. And they never enjoy life necessarily. So due to this, I kept ingesting like Nietzsche's concepts of things, right? And it only led to me being further depressed, right? And I went and looked at how his life ended, and I was like, oh, that's why mine also ended up in that state, because you believe in this, and your life is a consistent reiteration of that. I forgot what happened, like how his death was, but he didn't die like in a very nice way. I was looking at that, and even like his experience as a human, right? It didn't seem like he enjoyed the human experience, right? He was, fluctuating between poverty. He didn't have money. He didn't have a good human experience on earth. He wasn't wealthy. He didn't gain riches or anything like that. He never enjoyed life. I think he started borrowing money from his family members at some point to feed his passion, which didn't result in anything, right? Because like during that time, I think most people were Christian and they were conservative, so they were not ingesting his content. And now his content is kind of widespread, right? It's ingested by multiple people, and etc. etc. So it made me realize something, and it was the fact that I don't want to end up like Friedrich Nietzsche. So if I don't want to end up like Friedrich Nietzsche, I'm not going to follow his philosophy. I'm not going to quote him. Even Kafka, like other philosophers, I don't follow them if their lives are bearing fruit of depression and sickness. And a lot of people are in the world because of the system, the way the government structured things, right? The only pathway that seems fun seems to be the entertainment industry. And even then, they tell you that, hey, you can't go through that route because you're not going to be happy, right? Okay, so let's continue. If you look at Aleister Crowley, right, as well, a popular like YouTuber that I like watching, Sheer7, she talks about him like a lot in her videos, and you'll see celebrities who wear his quotes, right? Do as thou wilt, be the whole of thy law. Tentacion, he wrote that, and I want you to go look at that man, right? What he did, he used to abuse his girlfriend. Jay-Z as well. If you don't know this, Jay-Z murdered someone at some point as well. Aleister Crowley died in a bulk of his own excrements. Like he was a dirty, disgusting human being. He was a low, degraded human being. And people take all of these philosophies from these people and they think their lives are going to be fruitful and good. They never look at the person. How is that person's life? That person lived an awful life. The result of their philosophy, the result of what they used to believe in, right? Because he was into like multiple Egyptian gods and stuff like that, Osiris, and he used to do obscene acts and was very sexually immoral, right? He was doing all of these things, and the result of his life was just a disgusting, painful death. So this made me take into consideration who you admire, right? When certain people have certain philosophies, don't just take it verbatim, right? I want you to look at their life and the fruit they bear off of it. Not just success, right? Because rain pours upon everyone, good and bad, right? Everyone can get blessings, even if like they're good and bad. At times, like you'll get bad luck, right? And etc., because karma is real. Not karma, but God's justice is real. However, the way he functions, the universal system, is in his own way that is not understandable. But yeah, I just want you to go to all those philosophers, look at them, and analyze if you want your life to look like that. Because I started going back to Christianity again, and I got a regeneration of the book Eat, Pray, Love, right? And in that book, that woman talked about the system, how the government like orchestrates the system where you grow up, right? As a kid, you're miserable. You have to work hard in order to earn pleasure. That's what they tell you. You have to earn pleasure. And that's one thing I loved about Sheer7. She was like, you don't have to earn pleasure. You don't have to earn it. You do it because just because you worked hard doesn't mean you deserve it. There are people who have pleasure and they don't work as hard, and etc., etc. There are people who don't work as hard as you who are getting more than you, right? Just because you work hard doesn't mean you're gonna get like good things in your life, right? There needs to be a work-life balance. And a lot of people, right, go to school, they're depressed, they hate school, they cannot wait to leave school, right? And they're only bombarded with university. University requires more diligence, more responsibility, right, as an adult. Then you leave university, you get a job, you have to have that responsibility. And most people, they have what? They have children, right? Usually when women feel like they have no role in society, they want babies. right? Most women are engineered to want marriage, and there's nothing wrong with marriage, right? But they seek that and they get that, and now it's a big responsibility. Raising children isn't that fun if you don't have the funds for it. It's a bad decision, bad financial responsibility. You should have children when you have a lot of money, because then you get to enjoy them, right? So now you have kids, you're stuck struggling to raise these children. You're stuck with finances. You're dependent on the child to fix the situation at home. The child grows up. They know that they have to take care of you when they're grown up as well. And it's just a continuous cycle. So yeah, just question philosophies, look at them, and think to yourself, do you want to be that way? Oh, I was talking about Eat, Pray, Love. Eat, Pray, Love, that woman functioned in that basis. The actual author of the book, she functioned on that basis. And she was like, I finally felt pleasure, like for the first time. Like I started enjoying food. I used to eat food and not enjoy it. And I never used to enjoy food. I just used to eat. But she finally started enjoying food. She enjoyed the pleasures of life, right? She fell in love. She didn't have struggle love, right? Forcing a relationship with her husband, which was dull and boring. She was in a passionate relationship with multiple, well, I'm not recommending multiple people, by the way, but I think there was one guy she was with, right? And she enjoyed pizza. She tasted food. So yeah, I encourage you to just question philosophies and watch that movie, Eat, Pray, Love, if you are nihilistic, and follow what that woman did, because I followed it unintentionally, and I fasted for like 3 days. And because I fasted, I was very attuned to the taste of food. Now I understand why fasting is necessary. You enjoy the taste of food. You can taste what's in it. You can taste what's in cheese. You can taste the fruit. You can taste the bitterness. You can taste the sweetness. Your senses are more attuned to food, and you enjoy it. You don't eat fast because you have to go, right? And certain foods don't fulfill you anymore, right? People who eat food from the ground, they do that because they're attuned to the taste of food. So they don't like processed food anymore, because processed food doesn't taste good anymore. Having that donut is so sugary and gross. It's not like when they're telling you, oh, go on a diet, you need to lose weight. No, there's something wrong chemically with that thing. You start to sense it, you taste it, and you're like, this is not my thing, right? So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for listening to me. Bye.